Yo, yo, yo. Hello, hello, Prakash. Doing good. Yo, yo, yo. Your first one. I am from Latvia, Europe. Yes, Prakash. I know him. He's here. Prakash, why do you need to believe in any god? Who would be you who believes? Is that really you who needs to believe something? Or those are just beliefs, thoughts running through your mind? Who are you beyond your thoughts, before your thoughts, before images? Because holy thoughts, spiritual thoughts are also just thoughts. Hello, hello, ambivert. I remember you from yesterday. Quieting the thought chatter feels good. Do you feel like the one who quiets your thoughts is something else than these thoughts? Because when you let your thoughts move freely in you, when you let everything move freely, actually everything leaves you in peace. Even heavy thoughts, they bring peace behind them if they don't stick to you, if you don't try to stick to them. No, I'm not British. Do I believe that the world is becoming more enlightened? Well, people minds are getting more and more open, more available of this kind of perception. But I wouldn't say world is becoming more enlightened. It's just that ego, level of ego in people is becoming more transparent. World cannot become more enlightened. Aliveness is here already. Completeness, reality, it's here all the time. But okay, if I needed to answer super simply, yes. I would say yes. But you see, there is nothing completely wrong with people being stuck in material world, in their minds, thoughts and so on. There's completely nothing wrong with that. It can look like something wrong from only personal perspective. If you drop your personal perspective, then you see that you on your own are not so special at all. Everyone's the same already. Then you can see that everything's perfectly fine. How to do inner work? If you are a complete beginner, then I can answer you. Start observing. Be present as much as you can. Train your attention to be present. But this advice is only for beginners. Also, you can try to answer to yourself, who is the one in you who would do inner work? If you ask me, how to do inner work, then answer me, what is the doer? Can you find out in you who is the doer of inner work? Who would be the doer of inner work? But I mean, practice to let go everything. No matter if you see who is the one who lets go or you don't see it. Practice to let go, to not hold on to. Just observe, let everything happen. Let your thoughts move freely. And don't follow them. Umang, this chat is really not about me. Take from this what you want. Or don't take anything. It's up to you. All good. Seeking enlightenment is just a thought. But you can definitely seek it. It will show you something. Either way, it will teach you something. Is it necessary to get married in life? Absolutely no. No one will punish you if you do get married or don't. Well, it depends on, it depends on your country. Maybe in some country there are some crazy laws, regulations, and so on. Hello, Missy. Missy Ongmo. I'm fine. Very good. Of course, biologically, we humans are here to survive, to grow population, but you don't have to get married to grow population. but that's just basic biology. I'm not into things like that. I totally don't know everything. Don't want to know everything. Umang, this is second day in a row. I did not go live for maybe three weeks, I guess, because I was sick. But going live every day is completely not my aim. I try to go live just when I feel like that. No, I don't know Geo Kerry. Yes, Missy. That's how it is, Missy. That is intelligence of life. No, man, Virat. I'm just not into TV series, serials, and stuff like that. I don't know actors. Yo, Aditi. Yes, it's been long. Few weeks. What's up, Nikhil? No, man, you are not late. It's not possible to be late. Bye bye. Believe it or not, Rod, but this world is exactly how it needs to be. This world is about just this moment, nothing more. World exists just as tiny particle in this moment, in existence. I mean, I don't know about each one of you, but suffering in world is really not something you should be surprised about. Yes, Rod, everything is changing all the time, evolving, because human mind is evolving. But that's only when we talk about civilization. It's quite selfish to think about people as something very special in this world, in this existence. I wouldn't say people are more special than trees in forest. If there wouldn't be suffering made by human mind, then it wouldn't be possible to wake up, to awaken. Simple as that. Everything that happens is totally fine, needed. And yes, of course, people will always try to reduce suffering in world. That's also just fine. Yo, 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 new name. 4 yos, not 3. But it's good, it's good. If people don't know who they are, then suffering probably is seen as something very bad, very personal. Thank you, Rod. I'm honored to hear that. Thanks for hanging out. This musical device is, it's called Tibetan Bowl. I just like to play around with it. Just a bowl. Hello, Yankan. Was good, was good. Each one of you know that when it's all positive in life, you're happy, you're peaceful, you don't evolve as much spiritually. So when suffering in life comes, that's actually only option when you can let go totally, believe in separate self. Aditi, what are you spamming here? Maybe, Rod. But all of these are fantasies. They happen in this moment. Everything that you can think out is actually emptiness. All the images in your mind, all the words, they are nothing. Directly, they cannot show you truth. Mind loves to fantasize. There's nothing bad about that. I'm just telling. Beliefs and fantasies, that's just not the real deal. That's just a play. Like a chess game. You can play it, you can win, you can lose, it doesn't matter. Yes, Rod, suffering is the best teacher. And you know what many people don't understand deeply enough? Not, listen, it's not about the knowledge that suffering is the best teacher, but when suffering really happens in this moment, how wise can you be to not identify with this suffering right in this moment when suffering happens? Because I guess almost everyone can agree that suffering is a great teacher, but when that really happens in this moment, almost everyone starts to panic. When something bad happens, sad, heavy, anger comes, depression, and so on. It feels like reality suddenly, the only reality, and life is over. And this is because people identify strongly with negative feelings and emotions. Hello, Ritik. Yes, Rod, fantasizing is exciting. There's nothing wrong with that, of course. Well, if you understand that these are just fantasies, they will always be fantasies. This moment is beyond fantasies. And this moment is much, much more than fantasies. In the moment it's tough. Why, Rod? Why it's tough in the moment? Rod, of course you can believe anything you want. But there's just gonna be psychological suffering for you while you don't see who is the believer. While you see the believer in you as something separate from beliefs, there is gonna be psychological suffering, existential suffering, searching for truth, searching for self, and so on. But I mean, you can live like that. No problem with that. You name, you made yourself to suffer, and now you are learning how to live with suffering. Sounds okay. Sounds wise. But I mean, almost every one of us makes suffering to ourselves. Those are rare cases when someone else makes suffering for you. But of course, they happen as well. Rod, why is it tough for you in this moment? And do you know what I mean by this moment? This moment is not about what you see around you. Well, it is, but it's not just about what you see around you. Also, this moment is not just about the period of life where you live in, where you struggle in. It is part of this moment. But in reality, this moment is totally free. Everything depends on this moment. Everything happens in this moment. Yet this moment is completely free. If you don't see that this moment is complete freedom, it just means that something psychologically is holding you. You are holding yourself. And that is the greatest trick in life. That you are holding yourself, yet there is no you. And there is nothing to understand about this. But this can help you to just stop holding on. God bless you too, Srijan. Shrijan. Shrijan. That was not meant to be so loud. Do I ever allow myself out of current state? Dude, my states change all the time, and I am not deciding that. Hello, hello, Shamil. How awakening feels like. It's totally not a feeling, dude. Awakening is seeing feelings as passing by objects. Awakening is being unattached. And even if there is attachment, that's also just seen as something passing by. Man, awakening is beyond identifications. That's all. Every slightest thing that comes in you, around you, beyond you, doesn't matter. You just see how everything comes and goes. Even subtlest things, smallest things, deepest emotions. Yeah, I wouldn't say awakening is a state or feeling. Yes, awakening transforms. It changes your perception. It is like that. But you really can come to a point where you see that completely everything, when I say everything, I really mean everything, is just a movement. Your memory, feeling of you, ego, identification, happiness, peace, consciousness, stillness, regret, doubt, fear, jealousy, I can continue forever. Your arm, your body, chair, weather outside, belief, religion, everything is the same movement in this moment. There is no inner center in you that is more special than all of these movements. What do you think about when you are alone by yourself, no audience, no one to talk to? Super, super and super. I don't choose what I think. It doesn't matter what you think. What matters is, do you see who is the thinker? Is there a thinker? Do you feel like you are controlling your thoughts? If you are, then try to force yourself all the time what you want to think. My name's Chris. So super, super and super thoughts that passes by your mind doesn't matter. They are all the same. Super and super. Do you know what it means to overcome the fear of death? Because fear will always be there in your body and in your mind. What can change is your relationship. Do you see fear as movement, or you see fear as it is happening to some you, imaginary you, psychologically in your mind? That I that resonates all the time in my mind, how the real I is different. Sundram Kumar. Are you sure that you cannot live without personal psychological I in your mind? Dude, there will always be your body, your personal body, your personality. But I mean, so you try to find I. You try to find some me in you. But are you sure that that is really what you are looking for? I mean, how do you think? How can you experience oneness if you search for not personal I, but you seek for yourself, even if it's not personal? How can you experience oneness? How do you think? Is it possible to experience oneness even if you seek for some higher I? You know what, Shy Millman? I am not dependent on happiness. There was a period in spiritual path where I seeked for complete happiness and bliss because I thought that that's the truth. But you know what? Let go the need to be happy. There is no other way how to know the truth. Happiness, sadness, they are both the same. There is okayness, neutrality with everything. For each one of you, level of happiness depends on your lifestyle. Feelings are physical in your body. It depends on how well rested are you and so on, how well you sleep. It's not something spiritual. Happiness is not something spiritual. Nikhil, everything's good with Aditi. I just timed out because those are completely off-topic messages, and if there are like 5 messages in a row, It's just harder for me to see the chat. Nothing personal. No, neutrality is not a zombie-like state. But you don't have to try to train for yourself neutrality. If it comes to you naturally, it comes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Practice to let go everything. That's all. Practice it in meditation. Practice it in daily life. Letting go means to stop believing this psychological sense of control. You will see that your thoughts function completely normal, even better. Your inner voice, inner monologue, will still do its job. This psychological sense of control, that is illusion. That is complete illusion. Exotic Nikhil, I totally don't hate Aditi. Why should I hate her? Timing out is not like greatest punishment in life. It's just easier for me to time out than to tell all the time, to say all the time, chill, 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 and so on. Sacral, I was outside, and believe me, I saw UFO. Nah, that was not UFO new name. Well, that was unknown flying object, but those were not aliens. Nikhil, please don't time out without a real reason. Nikhil, you know what you should try to learn? Objectiveness over subjective view. As moderator, especially. What is my motivation to do work if not happiness? Sundram, People as biological beings, of course we strive for happiness over sadness. But believe me, mind has evolved in such a way that you can already learn to see that there is something deeper than just happiness. But I mean, of course, in daily life, dude, of course I choose to do things that makes me happy, not sad. Here I'm talking about psychological belief, psychological self in your mind, who is dependent, who feels like it is dependent on happenings in life. Rod, what do you mean? Do you give permissions to your seeker? Rod, can you explain please, what do you mean by this? Do you give permissions to your seeker? Seeks itself out, exhausts itself. Do you still let it play? Rod, that's completely okay if you don't get this fully. But do you understand what I mean when I say let go, control? See how everything happens on its own. This voice in your mind, voice in my mind, actions in my mind, does lots of stuff. Everything that it has done for all my life. When you awaken, it's not like something drastically changes in your mind. What change is that you see that your mind, actions in your mind, all actions in your mind happens on its own, just like functioning in your body works on its own. Your heart beats, lungs breathe, blood blood flow, muscles work. And awakening is when you see that all the content in your mind is happening in the same way. If it's talking to yourself, if it's memorizing something, if it's commenting something, if it's just thinking something about other thoughts, it doesn't matter. This content in your mind will always be there, because that's how mind works. Is the concept of I abstract? It's definitely abstract for your mind. I think it's bad book, The Power of Now. You know, Shaimil, do you realize that it depends only on your perception? It depends on what do you understand when you read it, how open you are. But it's okay if you think like that. Everything is not for everyone. Rod, you allow ego to exist. That's good, that's good. Allow everything to exist. Allow everything to come in you. Allow everything to go in you. And of course, not everything comes and goes in 1 second. There are small clouds. There are rainy clouds. There are storms. Outside. And in the same way, in your mind, things can last for days in your mind, some stuck emotion. Yet you still can observe it without identifying. Creative, no, I don't worry. So you feel like the point of view, how you see things, is like won't continue this thought. Doesn't matter. A German man brought another. Shaimil, I don't know, man. I guess you are just joking. Dude, I'm really not that kind of person who divides religions. Dude, I'm just not a person who divides anything and makes up conspiration theories. In meditation, do we actually just train our mind to see the world in different way, with a different perception, or does this change comes in its own? Sunram, this is good question. Because the answer is yes and yes. The sense of you doing something is just a happening, yet you cannot live in different way. But don't try to get things ahead and understand everything. Rather, at first, train yourself to be present. Let's say train your attention. Don't dive too deeply into terminology, because you have to somehow break the old pattern in your mind. Hello, unbearable compassion. Yo, yo, yo. Greetings. Topic will basically self-inquiry. But if you mean the subject of this video, I don't remember. Don't hold on to your inner monologue. What do you get by this sentence? Yo, you're on this quest, nice, nice. You know what? I like your profile image, I am. But you know what's very funny? There is no I. It's just isness. Everything is. Have you had any interesting synchronicities? What is synchronicities? Yes, there is no I as we conceive it. But of course, this I am, those are powerful two words that can make someone to wonder, is there something more than this moment? It means moments that are connected, like you think of something specific and then one day later it appears in front of you. Well, yes, I see how everything's connected all the time. But I don't see that as something extraordinary. Thoughts are connected with material world. Everything in this world is material. Your mind and your body just vibrates in different waves of energy. Is that intellect the one which transcends the mind? You know what, Sundram? You don't really need to worry about this. Is it intellect or something else? And if this is important for you, if you feel like you must sort this out in you, you know what? It will be much more powerful for you if you can accept this uncomfortable feeling of not knowing and just allow it. Let it be there in you. Finding answers, the need to know all the answers perfectly, I would say, is the number one thing that holds you. Holds you in a sense of separate self. Why do I have so many trolls here? Well, that's YouTube. This is internet. No, I'm not Buddhist. I respect all religions, but I'm not into religions. My religion is common sense. Creative, what are you talking about? How this answer, creative, helps for you. Because this chat is not about me. Well, of course we communicate, me and you. But dude, umbrella compassion, don't worry. Of course, in most day evenings, it's like 1 a.m. here right now. I am somehow tired because all day I spent with people, communicating, living, experiencing. This day, today, I spent like 4 hours watching competition with arena full of people. And I love people. But of course, in the end of the day, when I do these live streams, mostly I am a little bit tired. No, Ishan, I'm not atheist. Melanie, it's all fine with purpose. It's all fine with happiness. This is how your body-mind works. There is nothing wrong with purpose. Problems may start if you identify with purpose or the one who seeks purpose. There is a big difference. If you see happiness, need for purpose as happenings in you. Or you see them psychologically as you. Perceiving God. Sundram, what do you think when this kind of thought crosses your mind? What should you do? What can you do? Can you find out what is God if you analyze this thought? I don't know better terminology for word God than God is what is. So find out what is. You will be surprised. For most people, God exists only in their imagination. They like to think about God. And this thinking about God definitely helps. Every single movement, every single happening in this moment helps for you to find out what is this all about, what this life is about. Melanie, everything that is in this moment exists. Time is not as real as you think. Yet it exists. Okay, it's getting very late. No, God is not for service to others. I would say, forget the word God. Don't be dependent on terminology. So you think that, listen, you think that those people who are born without possibility to learn words, or they don't see or don't hear, you think that they are less able to know the truth? This is why you shouldn't stick to terminology. Let go everything, what you know and don't know. Super and super. Okay, that's fine. Do what helps for you. Okay, everyone. See you later.